All right. Welcome, everybody, to the Sens Talk Draft Lottery live show. I'm here with my friend. You all know him. It's Noah Luden. We have a lot to talk about as the draft lottery is set to kick off in about 30 minutes or less here. But Noah, how are we feeling?
Oh, amazing. Amazing. We're really going to be having two phenomenal days as Sens fans. We have the best head coach available, Travis Green. Now we're going to get the number one pick, Macklin Celebrini. Travis Green and Macklin Celebrini, they're taking us to the cup.
Hey, many people are saying it. Many
Everyone's
people are
saying
saying
this,
it,
man. Everyone
Uh,
has the same opinion about Travis Green. Haven't seen a negative take about him.
Look, I already gave my take on Travis Green. I'll let you take it away here in the first couple of minutes. Obviously, the news was official today as Travis Green was named the 14th head coach in Sens history. I've given my take. Make sure to check out that video after the stream. But Noah, what are you feeling?
Listen, I was also pretty upset right away because I felt like all the talk throughout the season was Berube, because he got fired and whatever, and he was gonna come to Ottawa, win us a cup, and we've been talking about Berube for like a couple months now, and it seems like according to
Little,
reports
little
that
too long
they,
there.
yeah, it seems like according to reports that they did end up having conversations. It went far. It's
Hmm.
unfortunate. I'm not really gonna like after sleeping on it, I'm not gonna lose too much sleep on the fact that we took Travis Green instead of Craig Berube. We've had coaching problems here in Ottawa. People like to relate him to DJ Smith. I don't see it like maybe the record. I don't see it, to be honest, with Travis Green. Travis Green is detail oriented. Travis Green is a hard coach on the players. DJ
Yeah.
Smith is nothing like that.
It was a
DJ
boys'
Smith
club. It was a boys' club.
DJ Smith was
That's what we
like
heard.
you
That's
saw
what
that
we've been
one
hearing.
clip of Sheldon Keefe with Toronto. Have fun, relax. That's DJ Smith. Travis Green is he's telling them to work harder, go skate hard, forecheck, all this stuff. I don't relate him to DJ Smith at all. And also, DJ Smith was not detail oriented because we saw what happened when we switched to Jacques Martin. Where listen, we still lost a lot of games, but honestly, it was just the stench of DJ. You can't just fix that.
I
It
mean,
was
look,
DJ for 5 years.
With Travis Green, you're going to get a guy that, like you said yourself, will kick this team into a new one on a nightly basis, particularly, when they're not playing up to their not only standard, but the way they can play. And I think that's the difference between talking about the standard they can play and how they can play. They're not even playing how they can play. Okay. And there's a difference between that and a standard, right? And, if you're not even playing on the odd night up to your ability, let alone the standard we expect, then we have a major problem. And that's happening often. You've seen a lot of forwards, for example, back check very rarely. You've seen the defenders drop back from the blue line, let guys walk in, and the goaltending. I mean, we don't even have to talk about it. So we'll save that conversation for another day because guess what? In 30 minutes, all that can be changed. We could be smiling and we could be celebrating. Um, we could be celebrating,
We could
give
be
or take in 25,
celebrating.
30 minutes.
Oh
How
yeah.
important, how important and pivotal is it for the Ottawa Senators to get a top five pick? We're going to break down, and if you're watching this right now, we're going to break down the odds for all the teams, particularly for your Ottawa Senators. We're going to take a look at some, draft rankings. I have the Bob McKenzie draft ranking pulled up. We'll talk about that before the lottery begins at 6:30. But Noah, I mean, let's be honest, a top five pick would be huge for this
It would,
franchise, no?
of course, it'd be amazing. Of course, having a guy like Celebrini just completely injects the forward core, which is already very talented. You already
Yes.
have the likes of Stützle and Kachuk and Batherson and Giroux and all these guys. They're already there. And you know what? Macklin Celebrini just adds another, wrench inside that Ottawa offense that really could use it. They were still a pretty decent scoring team, but you can never get enough. You can never get enough depth
Well,
up
they were
front.
inconsistent because they don't have the depth on the bottom six. I mean,
No.
obviously, Celebrini is not going to be on the fourth line for your Ottawa Senators if we're lucky enough to get him. But I mean, at the same time, you get a Celebrini, suddenly Pinto is for sure the third line guy if Norris is healthy, for example, right? And really Gregg's on that fourth or on the third line wing. You have much more depth. But even if it's not Celebrini, I mean, look, Noah, you know what? We might as well get into it now. Let's just get right into the lottery odds and the prospects. We might as well get into it, no?
Sure.
Might as well.
Might as well. May
And
as
by the
well.
way, we're just kind of new to this whole live stream thing. It's been a couple years since we've done it. So if you're commenting in the chat box right now, we will be commenting and responding with you guys very soon. We just wanted to get through this opening portion of the stream. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna share my screen, open up the Chrome here, get Bob McKenzie's draft order. All right, so or draft rankings rather. All right, so I'm gonna share this with y'all right now and see what you guys think. So obviously the first one is Macklin Celebrini. That goes without question, to be honest with you. Of course, this is Bob McKenzie's draft rankings on tsn.ca. Make sure to check it out. They have Ivan Demidov going second. This is a guy that friend of the show Derek Lee has compared to Tim Stützle. I mean, I like Timmy Stu, but we know Stützle. We don't know what Demidov is going to be. So I'm always hesitant for those, super skilled forwards. But at the same time, when you're being compared to a guy like Tim Stützle, sometimes it's worth taking that swing, right?
That's
but
a good looking player.
Yeah. But at the same time, we need defensemen. This is where Anton Silyev comes into play. This guy, he's my top guy. I know that's not the sexy pick. I know that's not the consensus pick for Sens fans right now. But if we can get into the 3 to 5 slot, I'd be all over Silyev. He can play on both ends. I mean, both sides, pardon me, left or right. He's played in the KHL. He's put up record numbers for under 17, 18 defenseman in the KHL. He's a big-bodied guy. He's like 6'7" or 6'8". He is 6'7", it says right there. Yeah, he is one of the, if not the tallest. Actually, he's tied for the tallest in the draft for eligible players. So a huge player, a physical player, a puck mover who's playing in the second best league in the National Hockey League. This is a guy right now that could step in to this lineup and help immediately on that second pairing. I compare him to an Andrei Markov, for example, a stay-at-home guy with some offensive ability. Silyev is a guy that I love. And by the way, Noah, feel free to chime in whenever you'd like.
I think so. So what I was gonna say actually about number 4 here, Artyom. The big thing is he is a right-handed defenseman. That's a big thing because Ottawa doesn't have any. They don't. Their top 3 star defensemen, it's Chabot, it's Sanderson, and Chychrun, all left-handed. And I know there's rumors surrounding Chychrun, and I know we have Artem Zub, but Ottawa's really been lacking a top-end right-hand defenseman, of course, since Erik Karlsson departed. And I think Artyom Levshunov would be amazing. And I love Silyev because he's huge. And you could think of a guy like Victor Hedman, who is a very dominant, big, left-handed defenseman. You wouldn't pass up on that. But if Levshunov comes down and, wherever pick we are, and if we don't win the lottery or if we don't get second overall, who knows? A right-hand defenseman is always a premium in this league. Everyone seems to lack the right-handed defenseman. That's very important.
100%. That's why they're always like the prime, so to speak, trade chip at the deadline, for example, or just in the offseason. That's why they always get ridiculously paid. I want to make something clear. I'm a big fan of Silyev. This has been the guy that I've been following throughout ever since like December when the census fell off the earth. This is the guy I've been following, and he's been routinely in the top 3. So that's confidence boosting for me. But Levshunov has also been in that conversation regularly in that top 5. I want to make it clearer. No matter the defenseman they pick, if it's Levshunov, it's Silyev, it's Dickinson, Zeev, whatever, Buim, doesn't matter. Ottawa's got a good defenseman to take if they're in that top 7, top 8, or at worst top 9. So I'm not saying one's better than the other by a long shot. All these defensemen, I'll be honest with you, are very, very close. It does drop off a bit when you get to the Zeev Buim and when you drop to the Perricks. These are still highly talented players, but I think a Levshunov, a Silyev, and a couple other guys like a Dickinson, for example, probably have a bit of a higher floor, or at the very least, a higher ceiling, and at the very least, a lower floor. Like, you're going to get an NHL defenseman in those guys. But another guy, if we're talking about offense, and I don't think Ottawa's going to take an offensive guy. Noah, what about you? I think we're both in the same.
Unless we're number 1, I don't see why we would.
So, I mean, Caden Lidstrom is an exciting prospect. He's got a great shot, great skater. It never hurts to have a center.
Big body.
But I just don't see us going for Lidstrom. You know what I mean?
No, I don't either. He's a big body, but you think about the Ottawa Senators, when fully healthy, it's Stützle, Norris, Pinto. They're strong down the middle, and you have a ton of guys who can play center already. You know, Brady Tkachuk takes faceoffs. Claude Giroux exists. And you have so much depth down the middle. It doesn't make sense. However, if you see a move that sends Norris elsewhere, it's not unlikely. And of course, we're gonna assume Shane Pinto signs. I'm not very worried about that. I'm sure they wanted to hammer out the coaching decision before they really looked at Shane Pinto. But well, let's say we're signing Shane Pinto. So we got Stützle and Pinto 100%, and Norris is probably going to stick around.
Yeah.
Unless you trade Norris, I don't see a reason why not. But 6'3", 210, scoring center, sign me up, man.
There are concerns about his injury history, but a couple of the guys like Siliev has had injury history. He was out for a month this year. I think Levchinov also dealt with some stuff. That's going to happen. So I'm not. I see a lot of people write prospects off. Oh, he's got an injury history. Blah blah blah. It's not at the NFL draft. You know, it's not as severe.
No.
That's hockey. Every single offseason, they're dealing with something.
I think we have to define injury history too, because Josh Norris has injury history right now.
Yeah,
Josh Norris currently has
that's
injury history. You know, getting injured for a month here, that's not. You got injured.
You got
if it's the same injury for so long and it's really holding you back, like it is Josh Norris, okay, that's injury history. And if you got a little injured here.
By the way, Saif Ali Khan says, "Howdy, boys. How are we doing? Shout out to you. This is an OG Sens Talk fan. Shout out to this guy.
Amazing.
Same with Scott Dunlop. Everyone in this chat really has been an OG fan, to be honest with you. Nick Susi, Axel TV. So shout out to all these guys. Edwin Perrin as well. D3 Zamber. Shout out to all you guys for joining us quickly here. A lot of people are on the same page as you. They like the right-handed side and me for the right-handed side pick. And Axel
Levchinov, man. I don't know. He gets me excited. A right-handed defenseman, because I just think about Erik Karlsson, and he's not even close to what Karlsson is. Like, in terms of the Karlsson's an offensive guy. Just having a dominant right-handed defenseman.
Yeah.
I've missed it. And the fact that we can draft a guy, potentially, Levchinov, who is the best right-handed defenseman in this draft by a landslide. There's a bunch of left-handed defensemen after, but really one right-handed defenseman who establishes himself. It's an attractive idea. And listen, if that's second overall and we pick him, I couldn't even be disappointed. I
can't disagree with you. Levchinov, he is the first true right-handed defenseman likely to go in this draft. Siliev and Dickinson could both play on both sides. But Levchinov has a nice blend. He's a two-way guy. He's the best two-way guy. I think you look at a Parrott, for example, who will likely go in the 7 to 10 range, maybe a little higher, 6 to 5, maybe, but likely 7 to 10, maybe early teens if he really drops. That's just kind of, you have Zane Parrott at 7 here. You have Zeev Buim. These guys are likely to go in the 7 to 10 range. These are guys that have more offensive ability. These are offensive guys. Where Levchinov is a two-way guy, and we need a guy that can either play two-way or defense. And speaking of defense, Sam Dickinson's another guy that I'm really, really excited about. He's a guy that I've been more realistically looking at, considering the fact that we're likely not going to get a Siliev. Dickinson, similar to Siliev, is a guy that likely can step into the National Hockey League this season, like after the offseason, going into this season. He's huge. He's 6'3", 194 pounds. He is left-handed, but he can play both sides. I'm just looking at my little draft report here. I got all these notes for my video coming out soon.
Oh, nice and prepared. Look at you.
What can I say? Us here at Sens Talk LLC.
Best in class. We're the best in class, baby.
Don't tell Steve Stais that, eh? We don't want to ruffle some feathers.
Oh, my goodness.
But he is, look, the report, very simply from what I wrote here, is the Knights, and I'm quoting this. So the Knights defender isn't just an offensively talented blue liner. He can also play a strong defensive game thanks to his physical presence and solid skating abilities, making him one of the more well-rounded defensive prospects in this draft and can be compared to defensemen such as, Victor Hedman if everything goes to plan. He's a very, very good skater, especially considering his, size, and he also could put the puck in the back of the net. This is a guy, now I know it's junior, and a guy like compared to Levchinov in NCAA, I think when you put up a lot of points as a blue liner in the NCAA, it's more impressive. NCAA is a much more difficult league to play in physically, especially as a young guy. Doesn't take anything away from Dickinson, though, who's had a fantastic year. At the point of me writing this, I think there's a couple more games he played, so the stats might be off by a point or two, but he played roughly 65 games this year in the OHL, putting up an impressive 18 goals and 49 apples for 67 points. So he's an above point per game player. Don't matter if it's in junior or NCAA, that's impressive. So Dickinson's really exciting for me. And the last thing we'll talk about, Noah, before we jump into the draft lottery odds and all this fun stuff, is Zane Perrick and Zeev Buim. And, there's a Ginla and Berkeley Cadden and Hellenius. And, you have Yevkenchuk and Cole Eiserman surprisingly down here at 13. But more likely than not, we're going to be taking a defenseman. So let's talk about Zane Perrick first. Like I already mentioned, this is a ridiculously offensively talented, defenseman. This is a guy that I would have no issue taking. I just don't know if we need him. I mean, we need a guy that can bring some physical presence to the blue line, can be an offensive dynamo. When you already got a guy like Shabbat, you already got a guy like Sanderson, you got a guy right now anyways like Chikrin. I don't know how many more spots there are for a guy like Zane Perrick. Now, Chikrin's not going to be here. Shabbat's not going to be here probably, maybe. In the next few years, one of those guys won't be here. You're going to need a guy to step in. But I think right now they're drafting not, for immediate need. They're drafting best player available. That's what Steve Stais said in his season-ending presser. But, at the same time, I think they're going to be more inclined to take more of a physical stay-at-home guy because they already have the offensive guys. But what do you think?
I agree. I would just hope that that's what they do. Listen, Zane Perrick is he's a beast.
Yes.
That guy, I mean, 96 points on the back end is really, really good. And I would love to see him on the team. Listen, you can't have enough offense. You can never have enough offense. Defense is great, and I would love to have a stay-at-home defenseman. You know what's going to happen with the left D. You know that Chikrin or Shabbat, someone's got probably Chikrin. If I was a betting man, is not going to be on the Sens in the near future. Whether we bring in prospects or a goalie or a forward or a right D, whatever the heck we get, Zane Perrick would help. Zane Perrick would pick it up. I mean, not like Jake Sanderson's like a offensive defenseman. He's a two-way. Jake Sanderson's a great defensive player. Thomas Shabbat, offensive.
Arguably the best player.
Zane Perrick is definitely a guy that if you listen, we don't get 7. Maybe someone jumps up. Like from behind us, we have to draft 8. Okay. You know what? Zane Perrick, perfectly fine. All these guys, I'm really like all the top 10 here, even like the top like 11 or 12. I look at all of them and I am just not really concerned at all. I just don't think that we need another scoring winger, I guess, but that's also
yeah. I mean, if you're looking at wingers, I mean, unless Ottawa gets the second overall pick, you got to take Demidov.
Yeah, unless you have the chance to get Demidov or Celebrini, I just think that the Sens go defenseman in this draft. That's just simply simply what it is. But listen, it's not Dorian. However, the Sens are prone to going a little off the board in these high picks. We didn't quite strike gold with Tyler Boucher. It sucks that we're only looking at the top 7 because we all know what's going to happen if we go draft 7 or 8. We know who we're going to draft instead. It's not good.
I'll tell you what. I mean, I'm not trying to. I'll keep it PG. I'm not trying to crap all in Zane Perrick here. I mean, this guy, I think I wrote in my draft preview script here, which once again, that video is going to be coming out within the next month. I compare him to I want to make sure I got my facts checked here. I compare him to like an Adam Fox. Okay. That's a pretty good comparison. So I'm not
left-handed Adam Fox. I'm down with that.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
not against that at all. But Ottawa needs you want the guy that can step in within the next couple of years and bring in immediate impact while still being a great player and not like drafting based off positional need. You want to draft off best player. And I think Dickinson, Vasiliev, and Levchinov are just better than Perrick. I think Perrick, he's 6 feet tall. He's got the raw tools, but he seems more of like a developmental prospect. I think he's going to be a great player. I want to make that clear. Just, it doesn't really fit Ottawa's timeline right now. And that could be said with Zeev Buim as well, who I'm a big fan of. He's just very similar. He's literally 6 feet as well, small frame, under 200 pounds, puck mover. I compare him to Thomas Shabbat. And we love that. I mean, you're wearing the Shabbat jersey. Shabbat Shalom, by the way, Noah, but
of course.
Beauty. But yeah, once again, I think Ottawa just needs, I mean, if they are in the 7 to 10 range, Buim, Perrick, Dickinson, hopefully those are the guys you're looking at. But if you're in that top 5, you're talking Vasiliev, you're talking Levchinov, you're talking Dickinson. For sure. For sure.
Oh, 100%.
Now, I want to get into this. Here are the draft lottery odds. We're going to do a couple of spins here as well before the show kicks off in about 9 minutes. I'm just checking the comments here because we just kind of went off, or me at least. Like, you know how I am. I can yap for a couple minutes here
A
and
little
there.
bit.
But I'm checking the comments here. Shout out to you, AJ. Thanks for stopping by. You're an absolute beaut. See you in the chat there. We got about 50 people here before the stream, or sorry, the
Awesome.
show even begins. So shout out to all of you. But if you look at the draft lottery odds right here, I mean, if you're a Blues or Detroit or Pittsburgh fans, maybe just click off. I'll be honest with you, you have no chance in the top three. But everyone else, this is where things get interesting. So if you look at Ottawa, just above the Utah Coyotes, what an
The
interesting
Utah
situation there.
Coyotes. Oh man.
By the way, I hope they call them the Utah Yetis. Just putting that out there.
Utah
Electric
Yetis.
name. Electric
Gross.
name. Electric name. I'm not even gonna have to. I'm not even gonna explain myself. I think the name itself is self-explanatory. Let me break this down though, as you can see on your screen. Obviously, San Jose, Anaheim, Chicago, and Anaheim have the top three best odds in that order. Columbus and Montreal have the fifth best odds. If you look at Ottawa, we have a 6.5% chance, to get into that first overall slot. We have a second for the second overall pick. We have a 6.7, so slightly better, and then third is 0.2. So obviously, we're not going to get third overall. It's 0.2. It's more likely than not. If we're going to move up, it'll be in that top two, where we have just above a 30% chance to do so. Obviously, if you move on down the rankings here, Ottawa has a 44.4% chance of seventh overall, which is where they are right now based off of the standings. So more likely than not, they will stay put. But, we've seen a couple teams in the 5 to 7 range as of late jump up. So you really never know. For eighth, we have a 36.5% chance, and then ninth, which would be the lowest we can go. So no matter what, we'll have a top 10 pick, which is great at 5.6%. So I'll say this. The Sens have not once in franchise history, I believe, have won the draft lottery ever since the lottery was put into place. So let's hope we get some luck tonight. Noah, what are you feeling before we do the spin? How are we feeling? Like straight up.
Oh goodness. I see the 5.6% chance to draft ninth. That's brutal. That's oh my gosh.
Higher
Imagine
chance.
we get jumped by two teams. Gosh, I
What's
really hope
what's your
that
worst
it's
case scenario? What's your worst case scenario, Noah?
my worst case scenario, Chicago wins the draft lottery and Montreal gets second. That's my worst case scenario. Worst case scenario for Ottawa specifically is that we just get jumped by two teams, probably Buffalo, and like if Buffalo jumps us and then Detroit could jump us because they could draft in the fifth slot, we would still back up to. That would not be good. So
No.
and those are two divisional rivals. I would hate to see them jump ahead of us in the draft.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I mean, I think the team that honestly deserves the most is the San Jose Sharks. I think that'd be the best case scenario too. I have nothing against the Sharks, frankly. That's a fan base that's gone through it this year. I mean, my goodness.
I think the Sharks, the Ducks, the
Send it to the West Coast and away from Chicago, and I'm happy. Straight up.
West Coast away from Chicago. I don't really want him in Columbus. He's just gonna. Columbus is boring. Utah, whatever, sure. I don't know what to
That'd be
think
a good
about that
balance.
team.
I
That'd be fine, but
I'd be
like
fine
it
with
would
that.
just everyone just be thinking it's rigged because they just
Well, they
moved.
already think it's rigged, right? I mean,
Yeah, it's so if it's rigged, it's San Jose winning and Utah second. So we'll see.
yeah, we have. We're not going to show the picture just in case it actually was a leak, but Bucky Gross, sorry, of
Bucci,
Bucci. See, I'm not an ESPN guy. I appreciate you
you're
knowing.
good. You're good.
Bucci. I always see him doing that overtime challenge, so that's how I know him. But Bucci, thanks for that correction. Might have leaked the results, so we'll see what happens. We're not going to ruin it for you guys. We're not going to share that here. But that was also 3 hours ago, so it's more likely than not. It's been said it's not.
It's just a rehearsal is what I've been thinking. A little part of me is like, oh gosh, that's actually what it is, and Ottawa's just gonna draft seventh. But it is a rehearsal.
Yeah,
The
we'll see what
draft
happens.
lottery is happening it happened like 30 minutes ago.
Yeah, it
And with
literally
only the media there. And so Bill Daly's about to walk out with all the cards and everything. So
exactly. And I mean, look, once again, I mean, Ottawa with the new draft lottery rules and the way they're doing the odds and stuff now, we're guaranteed a top 10 pick. I'm not in a position to complain. I
no.
am not in a position to complain with all the I mean, if we're in the 7, 8, 9 slot, that's gonna suck. I'll be honest with you. That's gonna be terrible if we don't at least get the move up to the top 3. I mean, having that opportunity is always great, but as long as we stay at 7, we have a chance at one of those top defensemen. Is when we drop to 8 or 9. If we do, it's where I'd be very concerned because then you might literally have to take the last defenseman on the board, and that's not a position you want to be in. It's like the Denver Broncos this year where they had to take Bo Nix because they needed a quarterback. You just don't want to be in that position, you know?
So I have a question. I actually don't know this. How can the Sens get the third overall pick?
Yeah, I
How
mean,
is there the 0 point? Is it because like
I can't explain it
if
to you. You're the
if
math guy, not me.
I don't even know, like if Philadelphia wins the draft lottery and
But here
they
are the
can only
rules.
go up to second?
Well, here are the rules.
I'm curious to see how the Sens can get the third pick. Because
Yeah, so I have
0.2.
yeah, the rules are here and it's rather complicated. So I'm not gonna
I'm
try to
trying
explain it to
to.
y'all. Hopefully everyone in the chat. By the way, Noah, Saif Ali Khan is shouting you out, talking about excuse me, hope you didn't hear that. Excuse me. About about you and the Habs getting another lottery pick. And Andrew
Not the
K says Bo
Habs.
Nix catching strays. Damn right. Bang bang Niner gang, baby.
Gross. Gross. Okay, wait, hold on. The
Craig
second drawing will
Bedore is
not affect the
asking.
teams on position.
Craig Bedore is asking if the Sens have 2 first-round picks. That is correct. We also have the Boston Bruins first-round pick, but we just don't know where that's going to end up right now. It's going to be in the mid-20s, likely
They
early
beat
20s,
the Leafs.
hopefully.
That's all. It's okay. They beat the Leafs. It's for the greater good.
So it
I'm
depends where they
down to get a
finish.
later pick just to see the Leafs lose. We're
Yeah.
good with that.
Nasty Nick says he feels we're drafting ninth. I hope you're wrong. But speaking
Goodness.
of that, you know what, Noah? It feels like time. We
Time
do
to do a spin.
we do 3 spins during the Sens Talk season. So we're only gonna do 3 spins now. So hopefully all 3
Three
are for your auto set.
spins.
Should we kick her
Three
off?
spins.
Can I get a drum roll, please?
Oh, baby.
Can I get a drum roll? Give me a little drum roll. All right, I'll do the drum roll.
Oh,
I'll
do you
do
not hear it? Do you not hear my drum roll?
no. You need to hammer
But
that.
little audio drum roll.
Here we go.
Oh, that's one. Wait, wait,
All right,
hold on, hold
2
on.
more. There's 2 more. This is the Winter Series. Here we go.
Dude, this is oh no, that's not good. That's not what we want. That's not what we want to see. Oh gosh. Oh, New Jersey too, because they just love to just win the lottery every time.
We won the lottery. We got Travis Green from him though, so it's
Sure. Yeah, right.
oh,
It's funny. The
dude.
Sens have won the lottery. Like we won in 2020 with Stutzla, but we got a third pick.
You know what? We're doing it 2 more times. I cannot leave
Didn't we
off.
fall back into what? Did we fall back because we had ours and the Sharks? Oh
I regret
goodness.
doing that. One
Yeah,
more.
don't. Oh no.
One more.
Oh
Okay,
my
we're doing it
goodness.
one more, boys. Yeah!
Yeah!
Woo!
Let's
With 10
go.
seconds left.
Macklin celebrating.
What was the question? No.
Welcome. The Sens they draw back in the draft, right? With in 2020 when they got Stutzla and
Yeah.
Sanderson. Like
Yeah,
we dropped back both
I think
times. Did
our pick dropped
was
back
did
and the San
I,
Jose pick went up, I think.
I
We're
think we
staying.
dropped. I don't know what the odds were that we had. Maybe we had like 2-4 or 1-3. I forget what it was. I think it was 2-4.
Yeah. But
Whatever it
regardless,
was.
c'est la vie.
Unbelievable. We had 2 picks up there. Oh, here we go. It's starting. It's starting.
Yeah,
It's in where they're in Secaucus, New Jersey.
shout out to Caucus, New Jersey.
I don't know where that is, but welcome to Secaucus. All right. Are they gonna show the video of the balls moving? Because that's what they did for the COVID one. Remember that when the Leafs ball was like about to
Yeah,
be at the
I think
top
they'll show us
for
after.
Lafreniere? Oh god, that was such a joke. That was such a joke.
I think
That was unbelievable.
I'm pretty sure don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure they show that after now that they do it like
Mm. Oh,
pre-recorded format.
there are my Senators. 6.5% chance. Come on.
Forgot to put the thumbnail. By the way, shout out to Jamie Dean, our beauty of
He's a beast.
what do you call it? A block, not blocker, editor. Absolute
Amazing
beauty.
editor.
Oh, I can edit the thumbnail right now. All right, whatever. I'll do that after. But shout out to him. I mean, honestly, can I? Here, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. I just need everyone to see this. Appreciate his work. It's pretty sick. Where is it? Where is it? Here it is. Yeah. So I mean, like this is pretty sick. I gotta put this on the screen here. I mean, shout out to Jamie. I mean, this is just really well done in a pinch. So this I mean the thumbnails, the Sens Talk team's been killing it. Killing it as of
They really have the
pretty far.
content. Like the thumbnails are always just so beautiful.
Now, while we wait for the draft lottery, this feels like a good time to answer the chat. So
Sure.
let's see what people are saying. So Nasty Nick says you look like Ross Leviton of the Locked On podcast. I can only imagine that's a compliment. So shout out to Nasty Nick. I got to grow a beard. I'll start looking like maybe Brandon Pillar. I don't
Oh, God.
know. Let's see. Sensational Gaming says Sens are due for some luck.
The
Crossing
Sens
my
are
fingers.
so due for some luck. The Sens have been due. We should be so due that we're going to get the first, second, third, and fourth pick. That's how due we are.
We've
Unbelievable.
after
We
the BS of Vegas, we deserve the first overall pick.
I can't believe that we're losing a first round pick because
So
they just couldn't check cap friendly about Dadonoff's contract. That's unbelievable. We
It's
didn't
our fault.
hide
No, it's our
anything.
fault. I'm not going to say it's not our fault. But
No,
to dock us
it's
more than
I
Chicago
no.
got for the Kyle Beats situation is disgusting. I'll be honest. It's actually
I think it's our fault in the sense of the Sens should have disclosed, but it's also like, dude, this information was readily available to everyone in the world.
you
It's
also
not
want
like
to
it's not like the Sens were hiding anything. Oh, here are the cards. Uh-oh. Sens
they
gold
also,
at the bottom.
they also want to cut, like to screw off. Like
Yeah,
screw
Mark
off. You
Stone.
won the cup. Like Vegas does not do themselves any favors for fans to like them. You know?
Goodness. Oh, game 7 was amazing
Oh,
with
Nasty Nick. We know
with
you're
the
not
stars.
insulting. I mean, they're good guys. We know you're not insulting us at all.
Yeah,
Uh,
I was happy to watch Dallas beat them in game 7. That was
yeah,
awesome.
that was Ottinger played
Dallas,
well.
pop, pop,
Ottinger played well.
stars, pop, pop,
Go
Dallas.
Stars. Yeah. So Gary's going to rig it for good old boy and Lauer. Hell yeah, Andrew. By the way, drop your questions now. You might as well. Do you think they trade
Um,
the pick? Okay, so Brody Hughes asks, do you think they trade the pick? I'll mute this for now. So I'll answer that first, and then I'll let you jump into that, and I'll stop this here so people can see us fully. I think we don't trade the first pick. I think we keep that top 10 pick. Why would we? There's no reason to. The second pick, especially since this could be in the 20s now, maybe even higher or lower, depends how you look at it. If Boston keeps on winning, I think that pick could be in play. I think that's a pick we can use to bring in immediate help. So I think that second pick absolutely could be in play, especially if the Ottawa Senators get a top 3 pick. I think that's without question. That second pick's in play. But even if not the case, and they, stay 7, 8, or 9, that second pick, that second first round pick can absolutely be in play because, this team they're not in contention window right now, but they're close to it. This is a young core for sure, but they're not going to be young for long. I mean, Shabbat's already close to, his prime years, if not entering his prime years now. I mean, Kachuk, these guys need to have some success. They need to see immediate success. So if you can bring in a guy immediately to help that blue line, if you don't bring in a guy that can, through the top pick in the top 10 to help this team, if you can use that second first round pick to help this team, I do it. I think without question, Steve Stais will look into it. What about you, Noah?
yeah, we saw what trading the pick did a couple years ago, right? With the Brinket. Not the greatest. I'd like to see them trade the pick if it brings immediate help. If it means trading up in the draft, maybe. Like if we get 7 and we really need 4 or 5 or whatever, I wouldn't mind it. But I don't see us like trading back or trading out unless we get immediate NHL help that really is worth the pick. I don't see a world where the Sens trade it. They just need to draft. We have like one of the worst prospect pools in hockey. We have like a bottom 3 prospect pool. That's the one reason why I wouldn't trade a first round pick. I wouldn't trade this like any picks that we have. I really don't even know all the picks we have, but I wouldn't trade the 2 first that we have unless it's to trade up or to trade for a quality NHL player. There's no reason to trade. Like, there's no other reason.
You don't make a trade.
No, goodness, no. The Sens are too far gone to be making a trade for the sake of making a trade.
We've done that a little too often, I think.
We've traded a lot of picks for DeBrincat and Chikrin. Those could have been prospects who are coming up soon. Ridley Gregg was kind of the last of it. We got like Ostapchuk and Crookshank and maybe Sokolov running
And that's
around.
literally my hesitancy about trading the 20th pick. If you're not getting a good return, I mean, Ridley Gregg was drafted around there. So I'm just saying,
Yeah.
right? Um,
Amazing
Sportsnet
2020 draft. Amazing.
Let me know in the comment section down below if it's just me. I don't know if they're having issues. Oh, here it is. Okay, never mind.
I'm
Shout out to
watching. They're doing like
J-Mania.
some intro thing.
Same here for Vegas. Shout out to J Mania 82. He says he loves the Sens content. Shout out to you, buddy. Love you back. Lottery's beginning right now, so you're here just in time. We got 70 people in the chat, so shout out to all of you. Nasty Nick says, as far as I'm concerned at this point, Stu, Brady, and Sanderson are the only untouchables. The rest are up in the air. I mean, if you're talking untouchables, I mean, literally in no way you move them. Generally, I would agree with that assessment.
Yeah.
Pinto
Stu,
and
Brady,
Greg are the ones.
Sanderson,
Pinto and Greg are the
Pinto.
ones where you don't want to move unless it's like an egregious ask. Last question here before we begin the lottery. Let me just, from Karambo575. Do you think a 7th overall pick will have to play on the AHL for a year? Depends who. If it's a Sam Dickinson or a Silyev or even a Levchinov, I don't know. But if it's a Steve Bouillon or a Perrick or, anyone not named Demidov as a forward, maybe. It really depends on who it is. I don't want to put a blanket
You
statement
could
like
see
that.
guys go back to the CHL too to play.
Yeah.
Another year. You just don't know. You really it's player dependent. Oh, where is he? Where's Steve? Is he on the camera?
Oh, is he there? Yeah, who's representing the
Where
Sens?
is he? Oh, there he is. He's sitting.
Hey,
There's no nice Sens things behind him. He's just in his house. He's just in his house.
We love it. A man of the people. A man of the people.
Oh, it's funny how all 4 of those fan bases.
Madden.
You see all those 4 fan bases with the parties. None of them are getting the first overall pick. It's your Ottawa Senators, baby. Come on. No, not these idiots either from Utah. Nope, they're not getting it either.
Shout out to Michael Madden. He's watching from Australia.
Woof.
Awesome from down under. Let me know if that was good or bad. I don't know. I tried. He's probably cringing. I tried.
Yeah, that was brutal.
And then Jolo says, I'm watching from Finland in the middle of the night. Absolute trooper. Got a international Sens talk community here.
Yeah, it's
Appreciate
awesome.
all you. Love you all. Thank you.
Oh, Macklin. Macklin's got the white shoes, completely black suit. Those pants are way too short.
Oh, yeah. Jeez. I don't.
Why
honestly,
are you...
I like the fit.
I like the fit. I like the fit like this. From this part up, sure, but why are the pants so short?
Yeah, I mean, I
don't want him. I don't want him.
I have an issue with Bucci's outfit here, where he's got the dark charcoal gray, with the lines, and then the lighter gray jacket.
I don't know what he's wearing either.
Like Celebrini or mix it up like Calzentino on the right.
Oh my God, Macklin Celebrini just looks like every hockey player ever.
He is a hockey player, right?
Yeah, but he looks like every one of them with the same hair and the same. They're all the same nowadays.
Michael, by the way, said my Australian accent was pretty decent. So
stop it! Don't even give him the benefit of the doubt.
By the way, Andrew asks, what Ottawa restaurants would you like to see in the concourse of the new arena?
Ooh.
I'll go first.
Got to keep Gabriel's. Got to keep Gabriel's.
Goes without question.
Ugh.
I would love for them to add a beaver tail stand. I think that'd be pretty fire, pretty Ottawa.
So right? I will say, I was recently at I was watching a basketball game in Kitchener, and because that's where I am right now, and they have the beaver tail stand there. There's a beaver tail stand there where you can get beaver tails and you can get like savory stuff too. So I got a poutine on a beaver tail. And so the beaver tail wasn't like sugar cinnamon on it, but it was just like the dough with poutine.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. And I would love to have that at a Sens game. I think that would be sick. Just saying.
My doctor would not be too thrilled about that. I got a history. My family has a history of diabetes, so I should probably stay away from the gluten.
You only live once. You got to enjoy the poo tail. It's called the poo tail too. POU tail.
You might have just sold me with that name. I can't lie.
It's the poo tail. It was actually very good.
My vote from D3 Zamber's Baton Rouge. That would go crazy.
Rouge. How does that happen?
Dude, they already charged $25 or so for mac and cheese. I'm not spending $50 on a steak. That's all you, Zamber.
What about shawarma?
Actually, I'm graduating. Holy cow.
What about shawarma?
Well, shawarma, that goes without saying. I mean, obviously. I mean, shawarma
Smokes
palace, I'm sure, will be in
Poutineery.
the.
Smokes Poutineery. You need Gabriel's Pizza. You got Shawarma Factory, Shawarma Palace. Uh, what else we got? Like, what else could we
Ottawa.
really bring in? Tim Hortons. A Tim
Oh,
Hortons in there is always
Marky's.
fun.
Shout out Marky's smoked meat.
Yes,
Great people. We need smoked meat in that house.
we definitely do.
We need
We
some
definitely
smoked.
do. And what was the other one? The egg rolls. Do you get the egg rolls still in there?
They do. They do still have. Well, when we were at the Bell, Club Bell, we
Club
had.
Bell. Yeah, they did. I remember
By the
that.
way, just saying, Noah and I went to Club Bell. No big deal.
Yeah, yeah. Pretty
No,
fun. It's
shout
pretty
out to his
fun
mom. He
having
could not
plates
afford
of
that.
yeah, my mom has
Shout
a
out,
connection.
shout out to Dr. Andrea Stevens. If you ever need your,
Hmm.
that's the lady to go to. Now I'm looking at the chat here. Our pleasure, Julio. He says there's really like no broadcast of Finland for the lottery. Our pleasure. We were just
There you
gonna do
go.
this. We're happy you're
I
able to
wish we
hop
could just put it up. I wish we can put the lottery up, but unfortunately,
Brazil. Brazil. We have somebody in Brazil
from Brazil.
watching.
No way.
Shout out to you, Carambo575. God bless you. AJ says, I've eaten so much damn shawarma lately, and I still want more. I mean, of course.
Can never get enough shawarma.
Never
It's
get
funny because again I live in Kitchener Waterloo. Like I don't have my shawarma palace. I can get some decent shawarma. Osmos is around, Laziz is around. No
No,
shawarma
you might have had the
palace.
real thing in the Middle East.
No, yeah,
Osmos is not that great.
I've
I
had
mean,
the real deal in the Middle East. I've had the shawarma palace, but I need to have it more. I need to have some shawarma palace. How about this? Brandon, you hop in a car, get me some shawarma palace, drive up here, deliver that to me.
I got you. Next time I'm down there.
You
But
know
here's what
what?
I'll say.
I'll get you some Chick-fil-A. There's Chick-fil-A here.
Deal. Shake the hand. Come on now.
There you go. Chick-fil-A for shawarma. You heard it first. Breaking news.
People are talking about Timmy's, Putin, Gabriel's. I mean, we're all on the same page
Oh, is
here.
that the sphere?
That's just electric.
Do you see that? They lit up the sphere.
Oh, it's weird.
Or it's looking, yeah.
I don't like
I
the
don't know.
sphere, just for the
Is that
record.
actually lit up or is it
I'm
just
an
like
old
the.
man yelling at a cloud, but I'm not a fan of the sphere. I think it's an eyesore. And
Yeah, whatever. Gary likes the sphere. Like, hey, Gary,
Mary
it's
Brown's?
it's
Mary Brown's is
644.
underrated. Andrew mentioned Mary Brown.
It is. It is. It is
Underrated.
very good. We have that here too. Very good stuff.
But yeah, as I was gonna say with Osmos, we've had the real thing, right? So when you have to put a bunch of sauce all over your food, sauce is
That's
good.
true.
But you without the sauce.
Good food means that you can have it without the sauce. Sauce is great. It's complimentary, but if it's not good without the sauce, it's just how you can't if you can't season your shawarma and cook it to perfection, what's the point?
Nasty Nick mentioned Tim Hortons has pizza now. No thanks. Didn't you try it?
I did try the Tim Hortons pizza. It was fun. It's pizza. You can't really screw up pizza. Oh, that's my
Well, they
kid.
certainly can, I think.
Come on.
I got you. Oh,
That's my
we're
kid.
kicking it off here.
Oh,
So
we're going
I'm
16.
not looking at the chat. We'll look at the chat
Oh,
after.
it's St. Louis.
But here is Bill Daly, Deputy Commissioner of the
Am
National.
I ahead of you? I think I'm ahead of you.
You might be
15. I'm at 15 already.
Okay. Well, I'll just call it now, and we'll go from there. So the Blues have the 16th pick. Who's got 15? Was it Detroit?
Detroit 15. We're at 14 now.
Okay.
Pittsburgh 14.
So you have the first three going in the proper order here. It's when we get to the
Why are we seeing Mike
where
Greer?
Calgary
Why,
is.
hi, Mike Greer. Is he in an interview or is he just sitting there?
Oh,
Okay.
okay. For a second, I lost it. I was like, San Jose dropped from first? Wait, what?
Yeah, I don't know what that was. 13. Minnesota. All right. No funny business yet.
All right, yeah.
Oh, that's why they were showing Mike Greer because Pittsburgh has or San Jose has that pick. 12. The Flyers. The Flyers did not win the lottery. Whew.
Yeah,
Here's
now-
Macklin. Dude, why? What? Bill Daly's waiting? Oh my God,
Well,
this is ridiculous.
15 Blues, 15 Detroit, 14 San Jose, 13 Minnesota, 12 Philadelphia. We're 2 spots away now from the 9 spot where Ottawa at the least can be. They're interviewing Celebrini now. Oh, I see
Yeah.
his pants. They're like checkered. Ton of fun.
Yeah,
Calgary is looking
I
good.
like the pants. It's just like
He's looking
lengthen them a bit. The
You should
thing is,
hey,
so
give him a call.
a
Give him a
little
call.
thing here. 11's about to be revealed, but San Jose got that pick in the Eric Carlson deal.
Oh
Buffalo.
yeah,
Buffalo gets 11
Carlson.
in the Carlson deal. That's where that 14th pick goes to San Jose from Pittsburgh. 10
Always
should
go
be the
king. Oh,
Devils. It is the Devils.
all right. So now we are at 9.
9
What happened?
Calgary.
Calgary gets 9.
No. That's where that's where it should be.
Oh, okay.
That's where it should be. They stopped. They're showing
Buffalo
some
has the 11th
stats.
pick. The Devils have the 10th. So here we go. We're at 9th overall.
They're talking some stuff
You can
about
keep it
Cole
to yourself if
Eiserman.
you want, or you want to tell me. What do you feel?
No, I'll keep. I mean, listen, if the Sens get first, I'm not going to be able to contain it.
Yeah, exactly. So
I'll
just
be honest. So I'm just going to have
we
to
spoke
break
about that
it.
before, and for everyone watching, I mean, we're in different spots. You can't watch at the same time, so one of us is
Yeah.
going to have it ahead. That's just how it is.
Come on. 9. Don't be Ottawa. That's like the worst case scenario.
Yeah, literally.
Okay.
So we're good.
It's Calgary. It's
Calgary
Calgary.
9. So
8.
Ottawa guaranteed.
Seattle. Please be Seattle. Seattle
Okay.
is
Seattle
is 8. Seattle's 8. 7. Here we go. This is it. This is it.
Tell me what happened. I'm behind.
Dang it. Dang it. Oh, here we go. 6. And we already know what's going to happen. Utah's 2nd overall. It's rigged.
Hold on. I'm here at 7. I don't know if you're screwing with me.
No.
Overall.
Ottawa got it. Ottawa 7. Okay, never mind. Utah got 6. It's not rigged. It's not rigged, guys. It's not rigged.
Damn. I mean, we didn't drop at least, right?
We didn't drop. We're 7th overall.
Utah got 6.
Montreal. Who's winning the lottery? Montreal got 5th. Oh, Chicago. I swear to God, if Chicago wins the lottery. If Chicago wins, I'm fine with the rest of the teams. If Chicago wins the draft lottery, all right, they stopped.
Canadians get 5. All right. I'm not really liking this so far. There's been no movement.
Sens have another year of being bad and not winning the draft lottery. Just no luck for the Sens.
Marco? Shout out Marco. Beauty.
Marco, of course.
So, I mean, we'll talk about this after the lottery's revealed, but a Dickinson, Z Buim, Perrick, those are the guys you're looking at 7.
Yeah.
You're not getting a Philly ever left off, unfortunately.
Unless you trade up.
Not gonna
doing. Oh, they're showing Commissioner Bill Daly a little close on him. Don't know why. He's smiling. Oh, 4. I don't know why it's so close.
Sam Dickinson. That's the guy we really, really need.
4 is Columbus. I think.
So the top 3 is going to be what's
top
expected.
3 is the same. It's the same.
That's like, when's the last time that ever happened?
Come on, just Anaheim or San Jose. One of them deserves Macklin. Just not Chicago. Not Chicago. Not Chicago. I swear.
I gotta do my little tweet here. Noah, you take the lead on this. How are you feeling? With San Jose, Chicago, and Anaheim all in the top 3.
If he goes to the West Coast, I mean, we suck on the West Coast anyways, so that's just going to make the West Coast trip even harder. They're showing the Sphere, and they're in commercial. It's a joke. Or not commercial. They're looking at they're counting down the playoff game between the Rangers and the Hurricanes, but tough for Ottawa. Not getting lucky ever in the draft lottery, but hopefully he just goes to San Jose. San Jose is really the team that deserves him. They were the worst team in the league by far. Chicago's got Bedard. Let's not do anything silly here, right? Let's keep it where it should be. San Jose, Anaheim sucks too. You can give him to Anaheim. Him and Zegras would be nice. Him, Zegras, and like Troy Terry. That's nice with it. And they have a young guy. What's his name? Minchikov.
Yes.
He's good. Cutter Gauthier is going to come up soon. That's another. Anaheim's offense would look great with Celebrini.
I really wanted Celebrini. I can't lie to you.
I really wanted Celebrini too. I wanted him. I wanted Ottawa to have something to be happy about.
Especially after the vibes dropping on Sens Twitter the last 24 hours after
we didn't go back. We didn't go back in the lottery.
That's why I'm not cheese. It's just
it really could have been worse. But I'm so sick and tired of it could have been worse. I just want to be like, oh my God. The Sens got bailed out. The Sens got lucky. The Sens are doing something right. And I thought that's what it was with Chychrun. When we traded for Chychrun, I was so excited. Didn't really work out that way. That way.
We're gonna do a deep dive into Dickinson, Z Buium, and Perrick to end this stream. I think those are the three guys we really should take a look at. And we can take a look at like
I,
Ginla
I
for,
I
but
guess I mean, spoiler alert, I like Dickinson. Dickinson,
he's
guy
my pick.
that he's the highest ranked guy. He's probably just the best all around player. If you want to talk about best player in the draft, he will be the best player in the draft if it's like that. If we can get Dickinson, that's amazing. If not, you look at another defenseman or you just look at a skilled winger, I guess. It would suck to come out of
You know,
this
at seven.
draft without one of those top defensemen. I really wish that they could have just gotten the second overall pick at
Damn,
least.
damn, damn.
Second or
Nothing
celebrate
to
like
store away for
Demidov,
once.
nothing goes our way. Nothing goes our way. And even when we had two picks in 2020, and it worked out for us,
It worked out.
obviously,
Yeah,
but
it worked out.
we had two picks in 2020, and I think we were 2 and 4 in terms of the best odds, and we went down in both of them.
Yeah. I mean,
It went 3 and 5. Like,
our
what
our
else?
own pick dropped. I don't know if the San Jose pick
Maybe it
rose.
was 2 and 5. Maybe it was 2 and 5 in Ottawa because it was Ottawa,
Yeah,
LA, and
yeah.
the
One, I don't remember
um
which one, but one of them stood
who
pat.
drafted first?
Rangers, so Lafreniere.
Oh yes, yes. Three. Oh my God. Oh my God. Anaheim.
Shout out
Okay.
Scott
I'm
McCulloch.
getting scared.
Hi guys, just an
Brandon.
absent here, but love your content. Shout out to you. All the best to you.
Anaheim third. Anaheim third. Not good. If this
I'm gonna lose my.
Blackhawks team wins the lottery, I'm gonna be pissed. I'm gonna be
Shouldn't
very
even have a
sad. Number
first round
one,
pick.
San Jose.
They won it.
I'm waiting. I'm waiting. Okay, thank God. Oh,
San
bless.
Jose.
San Jose wins the draft lottery. Chicago second. It's
Shout out my boy
literally
Jack. He's a Sharks fan. I'm sure he's thrilled.
so nothing moved. After all of that,
Literally.
nothing moved.
That makes me think the leak was real and that they just said, "Fuck, screw it. Sorry,
But the
PG
thing is,
show. My bad." And they just.
but the thing is, San Jose won the lottery in the leaked version, anyways.
Look, the
Dude,
team
that
that
was just such a
deserved it
waste of
got it.
time.
The team that deserved it got it.
Yeah,
End of
that's
story.
true.
End of story. And thank goodness Chicago did not get one. But damn, Chicago's gonna get an electric defenseman or winger with they don't deserve that, man.
Chicago deserved to
I
fall to
hate
3, but
Chicago.
regardless, Chicago was going to get a top 3 pick. It's unless they fell like you weren't gonna. Chicago wasn't going to get a bad player. They weren't going to get screwed out of the draft.
If
Just
that's
thankful that they didn't get first.
exactly. And I'm thankful Ottawa didn't drop down past 7. But
No,
my question is, as Anthony pointed out in the chat, is this the first time in NHL history there's been no movement in the
has
lottery?
to be. Has to be.
Has to be, no?
It has to be. It's always some, and especially for a while, it was 3 spots that were getting
Yeah, I
like
don't
picked
know. That
for.
was like to not see anyone move was a little surprising. I'll be
I'm
honest.
happy it's just 2. I'm happy that they changed it to 2. You don't need it to be 3, but realistically, you want to not encourage tanking, but you want the bad teams to get a chance to not be a bad team, right? Like I'm fine with it being 2, but yeah, I don't think there's ever been movement I don't think it's been like that where there's been no
No, I don't
movement in the
think so.
draft lottery.
Honest.
I'm
I
just
mean, look,
happy it went to not Chicago.
I mean,
Gosh.
worst case scenario literally would have been getting ninth or eighth and dropping out of possibly getting any of those defensemen. So in that regard, you still have a shot at Dickinson. It's unlikely. I'll be honest, it's unlikely. Perrick, Z Buium, those are more likely than not. Dickinson, maybe.
Mhm.
But Levshinov and Silyev are out of the question for sure. So that's a tough pill to swallow. For sure.
Lev Shinov being out of the question is tough. That's one of my favorite players in the draft. Anytime you can get a right-handed defenseman, you got to do it. And unfortunate that we can't get him. We got Z Buium,
Yeah.
whatever. Zane Perrick, offensively gifted. Do we like? There's guys. There's talented forwards like Tij Ginla is there.
Yeah, Ginla would be sick. I mean,
Onsta
bringing it up with
Helenius is there.
did at U18 with
Yeah.
this McKenna kid, by the way, for next year's draft. Looks like a stud. My goodness. I was watching him in that gold medal game against USA. He's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I mean,
Um,
Carter Yakimchuk is a left-handed defenseman or right-handed defenseman. He is a
okay,
righty.
so
But
let's take we'll go back to Bob McKenzie's draft listing, and we'll take a look at those
sure.
guys in that range. I do want to say though, AJ mentioned or asked a question asking about Mike Rear, the GM of the San Jose Sharks, and how the Sharks in hindsight did with the Erik Karlsson trade. I mean, that's a complicated one because they've traded him they traded for him and they traded him away. So what I will say is, I think the San Jose Sharks put themselves in a tough spot because it was kind of similar to a not comparable, but similar to Ottawa with Matt Duchene, where they traded for Matt Duchene, traded everything for the guy, and then they just fell apart. Well, Carlson and San Jose did have that year or two where they were, successful. Everything fell apart after that. So, um, if you look at it in terms of on ice, it was a success. I mean, they did go to the conference finals. It's not Carlson's fault. Everything got blown up and everything got just absolutely decimated after that run. Um, but in terms of trading for Carlson, not trading him away, they lost. I mean, they gave up the pick for Tim Stützle. They gave up a 35 goal scorer in Josh Norris. They gave us Dylan DeMello, which turned, I believe, into Matt Sogard because we traded him for that pick that turned into Sogard. I mean, Ottawa just won that trade without a doubt. So I don't know about you, but
Yeah.
I think the Carlson trade to
It's a hundred
Ottawa.
percent. It's 100% a loss for San Jose. 100%. And you know, you're not gonna win when you trade for a guy, sign him to a crazy contract, make the playoffs one time. They went to the conference finals and lost to the Blues, right? They lost to the Blues in the conference finals, and then they just fell apart. Trade him away. You have to retain salary, I think, or did they retain salary? I forget.
On
You
who?
had to. You had San Jose
For or
on
against? Like when they traded for?
when they traded him to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, they retained salary. Yeah.
I think a little bit, but
I think 25% or so.
I don't
I'm not
exactly
mistaken.
remember.
Doesn't matter. I mean, who cares? Screw the Pens.
Yeah,
Kyle Dubas is a Sens fan. We all know that, but that's besides the point.
of course.
Um, oh, Sens Buds in the chat. Shout out. Shout out.
Of
He
course. What's up,
asks,
Sens Buzz?
who's ready to draft Trevor Connolly? Buddy, this is not the Spengler Cup. Relax. Relax.
The Spangler Cup.
AJ says fair analysis to you and I, by the way. Um, so Dam Dickinson is a left-handed defender, says Saif Ali Khan. He's also a right-handed guy. He can play both sides. So you know what? We might as well jump into.
He can play the right side, but that's the thing that scares me about that is Chikrin can play the right hand side apparently, and he stinks, and we sucked with him. Like, what? It's just I'm so done with just having to think about, oh, if we could just have him play the right side, maybe we would. I just wanted the right-handed defenseman, or I wanted the best forward in the draft. Like, I want the Sens to get lucky,
Well,
please.
look, we'll start with Sam Dickinson. He would be the best player available, more likely than not, on the board at seventh overall. And yeah, Zane Perrick. Can he play right? I forget. I think he's a left-handed guy. Him and Zeev Buim, I believe, are both left-handed guys. I think the only true right-handed guy in this draft is Levshinov, if I'm not mistaken. So I think now don't quote me on that. I'm getting there's so many defensemen, it's kind of hard to keep track, but I do know that a
Yeah.
lot of the guys can play both sides, which isn't exactly optimal per se, but it's certainly not bad either. I mean, it's definitely good to have a utility. Let's just jump in right here on Sam Dickinson. Let's start talking about him first. So you can see these player profiles, and a lot of what people are saying is he can move the puck. He's obviously a good offensive guy. Now, Junior is the caveat. I mean, the CHL is much easier to put in pucks into the back of the net. And Sensbuzz, by the way, says Perrick and Yak are right-handed guys. So there are guys in a range with the right-handed shot. So we'll talk about those guys in a sec. Thanks, Sensbuzz, for that. And Scott McCullough asks, are there any Sens possible picks NHL ready, though? By the way, we'll be answering your questions probably in the next 10 minutes here after we go through the guys. Yes, Dickinson is probably the lone guy that's NHL ready in that seventh slot. The other guys, like a Perrick, for example, you want to have in the junior seasoning for a couple years, I'd say.
Yeah,
There, and then
at least one, at least a year, and which is unfortunate because you were kind of looking, you had another season where you stunk, and you wanted to get a player who could impact the roster right now. It's unfortunate, but we'll see how it goes in training camp. Maybe training camp comes and whoever the Sens 7th overall pick is just dazzles and is amazing. It's not crazy to give them a shot.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, look, Sam Dickinson, this would be like a dream to get a guy like that. He fits all our needs. He can step in right away. But now, we're talking about these right-handed guys. So I really just want to focus on the defenseman. I don't know about you, Noah, but I just want to focus on the defenseman in this conversation.
It'll be so funny when we draft a winger. So I don't know.
It's possible.
I would you rather, so how about this? If we get a forward, would you rather get a center or a winger?
A center, because centers are always more valuable and you can move them to the wing if you need. Like Stützle in his first year or two, right?
Sure.
What about you?
I was thinking winger, but I guess that's true. But if a guy has been a center for a while and it's if they might not get always the results that you want. Okay, so Peric is right-handed defenseman, so maybe the Carlson connection was a little bit better than I thought. But high scoring right-handed defenseman. Never mind. Give me this guy. This guy's a beast.
Eric?
I looked at the picture. I thought I saw him hold his stick like that. I'm like, oh yeah, he's a lefty. That's honestly what I saw.
I mean, I'm Sens Buzz. I'm just gonna. Sorry, it's just so tough to have a conversation message to the chat here. I'll just do it like through here. I'm not gonna comment back. It's
Oh
simple.
no.
I mean, I love Levchinov. We were talking about this. You probably missed it at the beginning of the stream. We love Levchinov in this chat. We think he's going top 4, which is the problem. He's probably going top 4. So, Zane Peric is a guy that we might get, and this is a guy I compared to Adam Fox. You see Rachel Dory here from ESPN on April 2nd mentioning how his defensive game has improved, but will need to continue to develop, which is always a concern when you're talking about a defenseman. At the NHL level, if he can use his footwork and engage physically more consistently, his offense will carry him.
What's with the Buffalo?
Buffalo's adding. I think that they probably just pulled this from it's like a ranking based off.
Oh, sure.
Scott Wheeler is somebody that I trust. He's a friend of the show. He wrote that he likes to roam, but he's also learning to pick his spots better and his head is consistently on a swivel to identify where he is in relation to his teammates. When he plays freely, which is almost always, you're drawn to him whenever he touches the puck because he's always a threat to make something happen. There's no doubt about it. Peric is a fantastic offensive guy, but when you're talking,
this wouldn't hurt. I'll be honest.
Yeah. No,
it wouldn't hurt. And also, I just want to say it's the first time since 2010 that the draft order went unchanged. And in 2010, there was only the one spot that was getting auctioned off in the lottery. So the first time since 2010 that the order went unchanged. I don't know who went first. Tavares? No, I think that's the year after Tavares. Don't remember.
Yeah,
I know. Kane was 08. I think Tavares was 2009.
Yeah.
Maybe it was that Taylor Hall.
Wasn't he with Eberle in that crazy World Junior game in Ottawa?
2010 entry. I think I'm going to guess Taylor Hall right now. Yeah, it was Taylor Hall. Taylor Hall, when the Edmonton Oilers selected Taylor Hall first, Tyler Seguin went second, and Sens legend Eric Goodbranson went third overall.
Shout out my boy,
Sens legend.
Bills a year.
And I know what you're thinking, Brandon. Where are the Senators in the first round of this draft? Well, they didn't pick in this first round of this draft. I don't know where the pick went. It doesn't say who had what pick, but the Senators, I traded the pick somewhere. I think no, here's exactly where it went. They traded it to the St. Louis Blues. Funny. They traded it to the St. Louis Blues for Vladimir Tarasenko, 16th overall. I think it was David Rundblad?
David GOAT Rundblad.
Was it David Rundblad that we traded for?
Oh, then we got Turris. So, I mean, it kind of worked out.
Right.
I mean, you probably prefer Tarasenko.
I think that's who it was for. I don't want to be 100%. Yes, it was David Rundblad in June. So I think this might have been during the draft. On draft day, the Sens traded away the 16th overall selection to the St. Louis Blues in exchange for David Rundblad. And we traded away Tarasenko. We got him back for a little bit. That was fun.
Shout out Brian Lee and Anze Kopitar, right?
Yeah, Brian Lee and Kopitar. There's it wasn't Carey Price. I think we had something with Carey Price too. So like David, and then we traded, of course, David Rumblad and a second round pick to the
The last,
Coyotes for
yeah. So I
Kyle
mean,
Turris. The second
yeah,
round pick was Anthony Stolars. He's still around.
yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, you just never know with trading draft picks. It just sometimes that happens, right?
Of
Sometimes that
all the of all the Dorian trades that I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt on, it'll probably be the DeBrincat trade because when I saw that trade, I was jumping up and down.
like to get
Like
him.
to get it when we got him,
Yeah,
100%. You're
it's
trading.
contingent on him
You're
signing, but yeah,
Yes, it was of course on him signing, but getting a proven forward, we needed that. We needed a goal scoring winger. We really did. And waiting for that to come in the draft, we thought that we were ready to compete in 2022. So I don't hate it. So like I bring that up because Ottawa kind of did it again when they traded for David Rumblad back in 2010, and that didn't work. But then only the next year, they traded away
yeah,
David Rumblad and a second round pick for Kyle Turris. That man is amazing. Love
yeah.
that guy.
Instead of that guy, overtime, most clutch player, maybe one of the most clutch overtime guys in Sens history in the playoffs. I'm just laughing because Sens Buzz said we should draft a goalie. Hashtag best in class.
We should hashtag vested class. Also, the Sens have 24 hours to decide if they will forfeit their 2024 first round pick or push the decision to 2025 or 2026.
They'll push it.
We are
They'll push it.
definitely pushing it. There's
If
no
it,
reason to forfeit the seventh overall pick. We're not going to get under the seventh overall pick twice more.
they're
I
going to
think you
push
just
it. I
gotta.
mean, it's a similar situation. I was talking about this on Daytime Ottawa with Derek Fage on Rogers TV
Mhm.
when the announcement happened with Dadanov near the trade deadline. And it's a similar situation to what the Devils had with the Kovalchuk contract violation about a decade ago or so. They had a new owner literally when that dropped, that decision where they would lose a first round pick. And they'd had the same exact situation where they would have 3 years to decide which of those 3 years they would give up the pick. Obviously, they didn't end up giving the pick because the NHL ended up rescinding the penalty. I have a very good feeling that's exactly what's going to happen here. If not, worst case, 3 years from now, you give up a first round pick. Hopefully, we're in the playoffs, so it's not even going to matter. But I think the fact we have to give up a first round pick to begin with is, I'm just going to keep it a PG show. I'll keep my thoughts very.
Yeah.
It's BS. So we need
So I
absolute.
have a couple things. I have a couple
And
things
then
for you.
we'll say those, and then we'll talk about Zebu.
Yes, I just want to tell you, at some point check your Twitter DMs. It's a funny tweet, but while you're checking, the
I'll
San
check
Jose
them.
Sharks won the lottery 3 times apparently
Okay.
because they have to draft, they have to roll it again for second overall. Apparently, they kept on picking up San Jose balls and not
Oh.
anyone
What
else's
is this?
team. That's what
What
it
is this
is.
nonsense?
TSN made a tweet about the San Jose Sharks winning the draft lottery and it's Seattle Kraken. But no,
Bar
the San
down.
Jose. So it took
Down on
four
the mountain.
draws to get Chicago at second. If you see what Greg Wyshynski tweeted,
Yeah.
they won the
Put it up.
first. They won 3 times. They because they won the
It
first
was
time and then they were
just,
picking
Wyshynski.
Wyshynski.
Sorry, go ahead.
And so they won the first lottery, of course, and then they had to pick for second overall. So then they run it all, they bring it up. Oh, it's San Jose again. They did
Yeah.
it they did it 2 times. They had to redraw 2 times
Yeah,
for
this is
second
so
overall.
complicated.
So San Jose was so destined for the first overall pick.
Wow.
There it is.
That's pretty crazy. That is pretty crazy.
Unbelievable.
And by the way, Greg Wyshynski, if you're worried about it being rigged, he was in the room as it happened to ensure accuracy and integrity and all those fun journalism terms. So shout out to Wyshynski. We are just gonna have to trust
Of
you.
course.
We'll drop in now to Z Buim to wrap up the stream here. Because
Sure.
we know Rangers, Carolina's kicking off here. I want to get a za. I'm not gonna lie. I know you want to do some stuff. We've been rambling here for an hour plus.
Phillies and Blue Jays are playing. I'm just saying. Phillies
The
are up
best
one
teams in
nothing.
baseball history. Who's up? Going up?
My Phillies are up 1-0 on your Blue
Yeah,
Jays. So
yeah, yeah. Well, that's not going to last for long. I'll tell you that, my friend. Zibuim, this is another puck moving guy, very similar to Zane Perrick, very similar in terms of frame. He's a left-handed guy. He's a play driver, but he's a bit of a project. And I don't mean that in terms of he's not going to be successful. I just mean he has a lot of defensive growth to have. I mean, he's a great, great skater. And if you're a great skater, that could translate very well into the NHL game. He's also, of course, played in the NCAA. Look at these stats. I mean, he did very well with Denver in the NCAA this year. And I think,
More than a point per game.
yeah, exactly. And when you're playing in the NCAA, I said this with Levshinov, for example. When you're playing in the NCAA, it's much more of a physically demanding game. You're playing against much older players compared to junior hockey, more often than not, more physically mature players as well. So that makes me very attracted to a guy like Z Buim, for example. Now, is he better than Perrick? I have weeks here to decide whether I like him more than Perrick or vice versa. Dickinson. I'm not going to
Yeah,
say that right now, but just looking at the raw stuff, Z Buim, the fact he went against NCAA talent makes him more attractive if it comes down between him and Perrick, solely based off of defensive need. I'm not saying Buim is better than Perrick. I think Perrick right now, based off my limited knowledge, is definitely higher up there than Z Buim. But my point very simply is they're all very close in this area of the draft, Dickinson, Buim, Perrick. So it really depends on what you like out of a player. That's what I'm really getting.
exactly. 100%.
Now let's throw it to the fans here. We've been rambling. I want to answer some questions here. We got a few minutes left before we wrap it up. So let's just check. As well, can take a look at the chat box. But
Of
we're
course.
just gonna answer your questions. So drop some questions down here. We'll answer some questions for the next few minutes. Sensbus says if you want to piss Hap fans off, tell him he's better than Lade Hudson. Might be. I'm just gonna be real with you.
Could be.
Let's see. If Iginla is still around, would you draft Iginla? You have to consider it. I mean, this guy's a dog. He doesn't really fit our needs, but if you look at Ottawa's blue line prospect pool, it's much deeper than our forward pool. So in that regard, I mean, if your defensemen are not there in particular, Buim and Perrick are
The
taken
best
off.
forward available doesn't hurt you.
And exactly like an Iginla. I mean, I would even consider Iginla if it's only one or two defensemen left. I mean, he's that good of a player, but I just think you got to draft a defenseman here. You need a high end blue liner to help supplement the Chikrins and the Zubs and maybe even the Shabots that are not going to be in the lineup in the next few years here. I think Shabbat stays, but Chikrin and Zub will probably. It's kind of ironic saying that with the Zub hat, but I think those guys are gone in the next few years. So you need a guy that can step in on a bit of a cheaper contract as well. So I still take a defenseman, but that's really a draft decision. It really depends how the draft goes. Iginla absolutely is somebody I'll be talking about in my draft preview, though, as a target if you're looking at the forwards, because he's a dog. There's no doubt about it. That Iginla family, there's some dogs in that family for sure.
Mhm.
I think he has got a sister that's going to be playing in the PWHL. I mean, there's some really, really talented players in that Iginla family, let alone the fact their father is an absolute G. So, I mean, it can't hurt to draft a guy like Iginla, no?
So we got a question in the chat from Saif asking what would the worst pick be? Within reason, what would the worst pick be? Would it be Consta Hellenius?
Well, he's risen. He's that Finnish kid. No,
He's risen. But he's
He
like
reminds me of
he's a
Alexander
small winger.
Yeah, he reminds me of
He's a
Alexander
small winger. I don't
like small wingers from Europe, but if they're in the middle round, like in the middle.
Tim
part of the first
Stützle didn't
round.
work out for us.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
if you're going in the top five,
About
look,
Travis Green, one thing I wanted to say, Travis Green is going to help that guy out. Travis Green is going to help out Tim Stützle. He might help out Consta too. But on paper, probably not my pick. Not the pick I'd make.
I mean, look, if you're talking forwards, I take a Iginla, for example, over Hellenius. But I mean, these Hellenius and Iginla are two guys that really rose up the rankings over the last half of the year. And I'm just looking at Bob McKenzie's rankings here. Berkeley Cadden, a Sens Buzz brought up as well. This is a guy that's routinely been in the top 10 draft rankings. Him being at 11 here is a little shocking. I would take Cadden over Hellenius, for example, and you can make that argument with, Berkeley Cadden and Iginla. I think Cadden is a guy that, he's a center, so I like that value there. He's got a heavy shot. For a good amount of the year, he was leading the WHL or very close to leading the WHL for points. 57 goals is nothing to scoff at. And then you're looking down the list here. Carter Yakimchuk is who Sens Buzz mentioned is another right-handed guy. That's a guy we absolutely might take, at 7. But would that be if Buim, Perrick, or Dickinson are there, you're not taking Yakimchuk is my point.
No, not at all. Not at all. And And Sens Buzz was saying how would you take the best player available
Yeah,
and
I mean, yeah.
at this seventh pick, and then go with take a D man with the Boston pick, and he
Good
says
old
cough
Ottawa
cough
boy.
Ottawa boy Henry Muse. You know what? Probably that's what's gonna happen. We're gonna take Berkeley Catton and then Henry Muse. You can't. They're not gonna let him go if he's available.
Muse dropped in the rankings throughout the year, but I watch a lot of 67s hockey. He's not he's a flashy guy at times. He's not a Levchinov or anything, but my concern with Muse is he's not stellar defensively from what I've seen. He's really good offensively. And I think he can improve defensively. I mean, his skating is flawless. He really skates like the wind. All these defenders are great, great skaters. So I always say this, if you can skate well and that transition from the junior game to the NHL is good, in terms of your skating, it makes everything much easier to develop. So I think a guy like Muse is somebody I'd love in the 20 something range, right? In that range, not in the top 10. What's up,
Cody Clemens just hit a 2-run home run for my Phillies. It is 3-0.
buddy? We're talking about some serious stuff here. We're talking about your
Come
loser.
on, come on. I,
But yeah, to answer your question, I mean, best player available. Um, don't take a Yakimchuk at 7 just because all the other defensemen are off, for example. That's basically my
so
point.
yeah, so then yes, you would take best player available.
But at the same time, if like you're saying Z Buim should go 9, but we take him 7, I'm okay with that. For example, take within the
I,
top 10.
yeah,
Take within the top
I
10.
agree, 100%.
That's
And
where I'm at.
of course, Karimbo says I hope Zub stays forever.
Zoom.
As long as he's playing like a good stay-at-home defenseman, especially right-handed, no problem at all. And then is there a top-notch goalie in this draft? Is
Yeah,
something
you
that
don't
we haven't
talk
even
about.
talked about. Not
It's not like the
high.
previous years with Wallstead and Askarov and
You
stuff
know,
like that.
maybe with the 20 pick, I don't know if there's a first round eligible goalie, like a first round like projected goalie.
Let's
But but you know, it could there could be a goalie that's in that kind of area, you know.
let's see. I mean, right
I don't
now
really
it
know.
doesn't.
I don't really know much about the goalies in this draft.
I mean, the first line says there's no clear cut number one starter. But you got some guys, a lot of OHL guys, some Finnish guys.
Seems like a lot of projects. Nothing like
A lot.
Askarov or Wallstead or anything like that.
Now look, Ottawa more likely than not, I should say, will be taking a goalie somewhere. They always do. Now, that was the old scouting team and management team, but it makes sense to always just take a shot. You might as well. Worst case, they play in junior for a few years, then you sign them. Um, but yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the chat here.
I'm
Not many
also
other
sold on
questions.
Henry Muse,
Yeah,
Ottawa boy. You
I
can't,
love Henry
you
Hughes.
know,
What a name too.
who was it? JG Pageau, Ottawa boy. He's pretty
Yeah,
darn good
who
for
also is an
us.
Ottawa boy, Cody Cece. So let's
Hey, Cody
think back.
Cece, he was a one of the players on the Senators. So don't disrespect Cody Cece.
Sensbuzz asks draft day. New Columbus GM says F it. David Jiricek for the 7th overall pick. Who says no? I do. And I'm running the Steve Stais to tell him no as well.
Yeah, probably
Jiricek
not.
still a solid prospect, but I'd rather take a guy we like.
Yeah, you know, it's just another prospect. It's a prospect for a pick. You
Yeah.
know, it's not like you're not getting anything definitive at all with David
Now,
Jiricek. You know, he's young still. Let's not. Maybe he's more NHL ready than whatever draft pick we'd make, but I don't know if that's really that much of an improvement. If that sounds like making a trade for the sake of making a trade.
exactly. You never want to be in that type of situation
Hey,
either. Look what happened to Brinkhead and PD, right?
Safe did say at least CC is in the playoffs.
Yeah,
It's
true.
true.
Now, Buzz mentioned that the best North American goalie at available was from Omaha, 892 percentage. Best international goalie, same thing, Finnish Junior League, 892. So there's no clear cut number one guys we just saw from Stephen Ellis's article in Daily Faceoff. AJ says if the Sens trade or target trading their pick, what prototype of a player would you want the Sens to target? Very simple. If you're trading the pick, it's not the first top 10 pick. It's going to be the second pick from Boston. And if you're trading that, it's going to be for a right-handed physical top 4 guy. No doubt about it. We need that.
Dude,
We
that's
desperately
all.
need that.
That
There's
is
no
the
other reason
biggest
to trade your pick.
need for the Senators. There's goaltending, but
Or
realistically,
goalie. Or goal.
goaltending. The
Depends who.
thing is, it's just so much harder to move goaltending around because of the money with Korpisalo and Forsberg. Even it's not going to be an easy task for Staios to change the goaltending. So you got to change who's in front of him.
Hey, we're
Gotta
available.
get
We both played goalie before.
yeah, right.
You're saying though?
Maybe I'd give Forsberg a run for his money for backup. I don't know.
Probably not. Let's just be real. These are NHL guys. We're just kidding around. I don't
Of
want anyone
course
clipping
not.
that.
Of course not.
Any final thoughts, Noah? I mean, like we're coming to the close here. What I will say is I've had a lot of fun with this live stream. Probably gonna do a lot more of these going into the next year. Noah and I are graduating. We have a lot more time. I don't have to schedule stuff so diligently now. So just stay tuned for a lot more live coverage of Send stuff and a lot more stuff with Noah and I. Just we'll just leave it at that. Just stay tuned. If you like
That's
this
the
duo
goal.
here and you've liked the chemistry, just stay tuned. We got a lot of fun stuff planned coming
I,
your way very soon.
I do want to say in that 2010 draft, I'm scrolling around.
Want to share
So
your screen? Hold on here. Do you have permission?
yeah, maybe.
Okay, go ahead.
In that
You'll be able to.
first,
Go ahead.
I'll be able to.
Yeah. And
All right.
draft live stream. Yeah, AJ, we always do a draft live stream.
Yeah.
Usually,
Do you
unless
see it?
something, yeah, I can see it. I'll
Okay.
just answer AJ's question.
Yeah.
We will do a draft live stream. We always do, unless there's a reason we can't. So stay tuned for that. We will definitely do. We always do like a 4 or 5 hour draft spectacular with many guests. So stay tuned for that. We'll
So
have you, AJ. You'll probably be on the show to
sure.
be honest. We'll have our bloggers on. But yeah, so
And
let's take a look at this.
so the Sens didn't have a first round pick. The Sens didn't have a second round pick. Their
Huh.
first pick was Jacob Kulik in the third round. And seeing as I have no idea who that is, I'm gonna say that zero NHL games, so you really know what happened to him.
Sorry, I saw Ben Gallagher and Brendan Archibald. I was like, what? He was drafted in 2010. Look at
Marcus
93.
Sorensen, not bad. Marcus Sorensen in the fourth, we never used him.
Bad.
And then down here is where no wait, not the fifth round. It was the sixth round. Down here, Ottawa drafts one.
Okay,
Mark
let's scroll. Can we scroll past
Stone.
that, please? Can we
Mark Stone.
do this to ourselves right now? Please?
Crying. I'm crying.
Here, let me distract
Years
you
of
with our
sadness.
awards.
And Bryce Analowski. Don't know who that
Let me
is
just
either.
distract you. By the way, we're doing a video on these soon as well. It's got these in the mail. Shout out to Faces Magazine for that, but
Of course.
pretty sick. I can't even lie. Shout out to the team for the help for these as well. And yeah, AJ, Sens Talk Roundtable, absolutely. But yeah, Noah, any final thoughts?
Expected. Sadly, it is what it is. We'll draft one of our top D men, hopefully. That's it, right? That's really all you got to do, and hopefully Ottawa could just stay the course for once in the draft. Draft a good defenseman. You know, we have Bowie and we have Perrick, maybe Dickinson. That's kind of where we're looking right now.
Chuck as well.
Yakimchuk, sure. If that's or the best player available, you know. But don't do anything stupid. Just please stay on course. At least if you're wrong, everyone was wrong, and it wasn't you doing something stupid like drafting Tyler Boucher, 10th overall. Unbelievable. I hated
Hey, he's a friend of the show.
everything about that pick. Love Tyler Boucher as a person.
Yeah,
Never
Luden
liked the
agrees
pick.
with you. He says they want to target a forward and then draft or target Muse.
Yeah, sure. I mean,
But
honestly, I just
you don't
want
know if
someone
it's
to be
gonna work out
happy
like that.
about. I want a prospect to be happy about because last year we didn't have a pick until the fourth round. And then the year before we traded it for DeBrincat. So we haven't had a first round pick since Tyler Boucher. I've been
Yeah.
waiting. I want my first round pick.
So yeah, I mean, I agree with you. Definitely stay the course. Don't do anything irrational. Make the proper moves. Don't make a move just to make a move. We still have a very good core here. We have some good pieces still coming up. Don't need to do anything crazy, but if you have an opportunity to improve the team now or in the future, you do it. You obviously do it. So, you know, you got Curtis here talking about Taj Aginlaw, for example. All over that. I mean, if he's the best guy available, I'm good with that. Once again, it's hard to be mad with Ottawa getting the 7th overall pick, exactly where they were supposed to be anyways, with all the talent on the board. After the top 15 or the top 10 or so, this is according to a lot of draft experts, so to speak, the talent really goes down. So we're in that window where there's supposed to be a lot of good talent available. So hopefully you just don't mess it up and we get a good guy,
100%.
Now with that, thank you all for watching. I appreciate your support. Yeah, we'll see you all very, very soon. Make sure to like, subscribe. Make sure to follow Noah on Twitter at Noah_Luden, myself at SensTalk_. And we'll see you all very, very soon. Make sure to check us out on Instagram, Facebook, and check out senstalk.ca as well. We are literally an award-winning blog. So besides that, thank you all for watching. Appreciate you guys stopping by for our draft lottery coverage, and let's just say a lot more live stuff and stuff in general coming with Noah and I. So thank you all for watching. Appreciate your support. We'll see you all very, very soon. Actually, probably tomorrow for me to break down the press conference with Travis Green and Steve Stais and co. So besides that, thank you all for watching. We will see you all very, very soon. Good night, and go Sens go.